Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We got a whole bunch of news stories that we never actually cover on this channel on YouTube, but we cover over on our website, thepoplarreport.com. If you haven't already checked that website out, you probably want to check that out. What we're going to do today is we're going to cover a bunch of the news stories that we don't usually cover on this channel, all the little secondary stories that are happening out there that are important to know and important things happening, but we don't always necessarily have a time to deep dive into all these things, and a lot of them don't really require a deep dive. So what we're going to do is we're going to skim across the surface here of what we have over at thepoplarreport.com. We're going to cover a bunch of these news stories, real hit. We got a lot of stuff happening out there, a lot of things that you need to know, that you need to be engaged with. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so we have this first story up here, which is all about the 911 center. One of their towers in Tacoma, Washington, was 5 people broke in and started trying to mess with the power backup to that 911 system. And we're not told whether it's a battery backup or whether it is generator backed up. So now they got caught with a grinder that they were trying to grind their way in. They made cuts. And then also they were armed with weapons as well. So that's all really suspect kind of stuff, whether they were Greenpeace people out there trying to make a statement or something. I don't know, but definitely something to keep an eye on, as we were very sensitive about the power station attacks and everything like that. All right. Also out there, the Bank of Canada just hiked the interest rates by 0.25%. Now, this comes right after Australia hiked their interest rates just yesterday, I believe. And it is that's kind of catching everyone by surprise. People are not expecting these interest rates hikes to continue happening. The United States has been hiking very aggressively, and everyone is in the mood for there to be a pause because the banks are being caught flat-footed. They're just not ready for these interest rates to be where they are. And so that is concerning. The market's kind of freaking out a little bit about that, but we will continue to watch that. Also, we just heard out today that China's exports in the month of May dropped by 7.5%. That's a big number. Obviously, the Chinese exports are massive all around the world. They don't just ship all their cheap knockoff stuff to the United States, but they ship that stuff everywhere. They make the iPads, they make all the Apple stuff in their labor camps and all that stuff. And where do all your shoes get made? So the fact that their exports dropped by 7.5% is really big news out there. It is definitely impacting the world economy. The world economy is impacting their exports. That's what we're seeing. They're a barometer. They are a measure of what's going on. Also, this is something coming out. This is from the worst source possible, the Global Times, which is one of China's mouthpieces, one of their state-run medias. But most of the other people covering this, they were behind paywalls. So that's why I linked to this one. But basically, the idea is that now that the U.S. debt deal is debt ceiling is done, they have to buy up about $1 trillion. So the U.S. Treasury Department is going to issue about $1 trillion in bonds that people are going to be buying up, Treasury bills, whatever you want to call them. And so the fact is that they are going to suck $1 trillion out of the financial markets over the coming days. And that is going to really impact markets. That's going to really impact bank liquidity. All this cash has been sitting on the bank balance sheets in order to keep them stable. When that all gets sucked out of those banks, you're going to see potentially some destabilization out there. This one from Brett Bart. Interesting, just seeing the Ford F-150 Lightning, which is their electric F-150. I know it's just like it's like that doesn't even make sense, but basically just talking about how much their range gets kicked down. They lose about 25% of their range as soon as they start pulling anything. So that's, a truck for you, I guess. But nearly a quarter of its range when carrying a load. So a truck that can't pull stuff. That's what it is. The CDC is out there warning that pride events could spawn massive monkeypox outbreaks. Remember, monkeypox just popped up on our radar last year? Yep, in May, right before our least favorite month of the year, right? Pride Month. And monkeypox started spreading right before that. And then it just exploded last June. And it went into like just in July, it was everywhere. And as we covered that last year, we pointed out the very simple thing that the media was all overlooking was that all the people that were getting monkeypox had certain demographic characteristics, particularly in what kind of flags they fly. If they have rainbow flags, monkeypox. No rainbow flags, no monkeypox. It's crazy how that's working out like that. And so we kind of covered that last year. All this stuff is just, these are the same people. These are the same people who have been telling you for years now that you need to stay home, you need to mask up, to stop pandemics. Now, this is a pandemic here, but they're not going to stay home. And they're not going to use protection either. And it's just, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm always saying, is that we're seeing the hypocrisy on full display out there. And what can you do? What can you do except point it out and keep living your life the way you need to? All right. So the University of Minnesota is offering scholarships for people who are not here legally. You could almost say illegally, right? So if you are here not legally, you can get a scholarship to go to University of Minnesota for free. But if you're here legally, no scholarship for you. I don't know how that makes you guys feel, but veterans who served over in Afghanistan or Iraq or other places who have maybe been injured may not get any scholarship whatsoever. And then we have people who aren't even following the law, are not here legally. They get free ride scholarships. And this is kind of what we're seeing out there. And we're going to be seeing more of it. Okay, this is from Glendale, California. So Armenian parents, these are descendants of people who were there for the genocide in Turkey. Are we allowed to talk about that here? I don't know if we're allowed to talk about the Armenian genocide, but we're going to hold to it. The United States recognizes the Armenian genocide, but Turkey has a little conniption when you do that. Sort of like China has a conniption when you start talking about the Tiananmen Square massacres. Anyway, which took place in a lot more places in China other than Tiananmen Square too. That's just where the foreign journalists happen to be. But anyway, in Glendale, California, so Armenian parents, these aren't like, your white suburban middle class Republicans or whatever. We're talking about Armenians who were taking issue. We're taking issue with the school promoting Pride Month to their kids. So they went out and they started protesting in front of the school board, to tell them, don't do this. Don't push this on our kids. And what happened? Antifa showed up. Antifa showed up and started attacking them physically. Of course, a lot of these articles and stuff like that, kind of like, well, it was back and forth or whatever. But it was really a peaceful protest that these Antifa folks showed up at and started physically attacking like a bunch of brown shirts. This is exactly what happened back in Germany, where you have these unofficial militants who enforce what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to do, and punishing people that the government can't punish, but these people take on themselves. All right, moving over to New York City, we have New York City unveiling a vending machine, a free vending machine for drug users, free crack pipes and Narcan. Don't, as they say, don't tell Hunter Biden. Free crack pipes, Narcan, condoms, all sorts of stuff for free once again, all Americans have to go and buy their own crack pipes, but apparently illegals and homeless people can get free crack pipes. So once again, yay for the little guys who get all this free stuff at the expense of. And I want you to understand, if you're familiar with this, I worked on the backside of for a power company. So I worked in a call center about 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I worked in a call center where basically when people got shut off notices from the power company, they would get like a thing stuck on their door or whatever. And the phone number there was call Steve Poplar. And I got to answer all those fun phone calls. That was extremely stressful and difficult. But the thing was, it's just like, it was really hard to shut off people's electricity, at least here in the state of Pennsylvania. And in the wintertime, it's just impossible to shut it off. You just can't. And the thing is, there's so much financial aid available by law that basically being subsidized by all the people who actually pay their bills. It's just ridiculous that that so much of your electric bill and other utility bills are actually subsidizing other people who don't pay at all. If your income is low enough, there are a lot of programs, at least in the state of Pennsylvania, as well as other places, where you can pay reduced rates or no rates at all. And if you're on fixed income and you haven't heard about those programs like LIHEAP and I forget the other ones in the state of Pennsylvania, there's so much financial assistance out there for so many people. You can even get free crack pipes if you go to New York City. Wonderful news. So you may have heard already about, I was just watching a little bit of a live stream from Angry Prepper over there, and he just was talking about the smoke in there in New York City. We got a lot of smoke coming down from Canada. Canada is having the worst wildfire season ever. It's serious, folks. A lot of smoke blowing in off of Canada into the United States. And we're just talking about United States dealing with the smoke damage, but the fire damage in Canada is massive. A lot of farms are going up. A lot of timber is going up. And we have a lot of people being evacuated, big serious issues happening in Canada. And we want to just kind of throw all that information at you. Once again, you can find all these kind of news stories. These are like all of these news stories are things that we wouldn't normally cover on this channel, but I wanted to just show you the kind of stuff that we're putting up on the poplarreport.com. A bunch of you have already kind of find that to be a regular news source. We're going to try to make it even more regular and get you more news stories, but we don't want to put fluff in here. So you'll notice that there's not a lot of political stuff in here. There's not, well, there's a little bit there today, but we try to stay away from the culture war a bit. There's a lot of gotcha articles out there and everything like that. That's, it's snarky and ha. But we try to stay away from that stuff as well and try focusing in on what's happening with the supply chain, what's happening with the financial markets, what's happening out there with that kind of stuff without quite so heavy of a heavy hand of financial markets like some websites and stuff like out there. If you believe in that mission that we're doing, please do hit the thumbs up button and come check out the website. You can also check us out on Twitter, the Poplar Report. Over on Twitter. I believe that Twitter is going to become more of a stable and relatively free platform. They're still working out the kinks over there. Tucker Carlson moved over to Twitter for good reason. I think he thinks that that is the most viable YouTube killer out there because it has such a large advertising base and it's just already structured really well to do ads and everything like that. I think that when they start bringing video on more, we're going to see more we're going to see that that's going to be a better platform than Rumble. I know I'm a minority here saying that, and a bunch of you are kind of shaking your heads. But the simple fact is that Rumble, while you can put videos up there, they have like zero monetization there. They don't do it. I mean, if you want to be on YouTube and be demonetized, that's really no different than being on Rumble and being and being monetized over there. That's just the sad truth about it. But I think that we're going to see that as Twitter rises up on the video side of things, that people are going to start realizing that's the place to be. So a lot of your favorite creators are probably going to be moving that direction once they figure that out too. There's already some channels that are over there posting some links and stuff like that, and some news articles, and having some commentary over there. We're trying to get on there a little bit more. I need to get a little help to help me run that, because I can't do everything. But hopefully we will start posting videos over there in the near future, and then we may start posting some original content over there as well. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. If you want to check out the Twitter, you can just click that link right there. If you have a Twitter account, come join and follow along. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.